Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a new recording of Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 5 in Romeo and Juliet. I mean, it's sort of nice to see new Tchaikovsky coming out, if the people who are playing it know what they're doing. In this case, they sort of do, sort of. And let's see, what do we have? We have the Orchestre philharmonique de Strasbourg under Aziz Shokhakimov. Now, Mr. Shokhakimov is obviously somebody that the Orchestre Philharmonique de Strasbourg feels strongly about, because you may ask yourself, where does this come from? I mean, are people lining up to hear Aziz Shokhakimov anywhere in the world play Tchaikovsky? He's qualified. He obviously knows what he's doing in that sense. But I mean, it used to be, let's put it that way, that, major labels particularly, and this is on Warner, yes, Warner Classics, they had people who actually found talent and then cultivated them in large-scale recording projects that were created with an eye to the company's overall catalog and what its weaknesses were and what it needed to revisit and what it needed to do. None of that is happening anymore. Major labels are distribution networks. That's all they are when it comes to classical music, because this recording is owned by the Orchestre Philharmonique de Strasbourg, and it is issued here under license. So it may exist for a little while. It means the orchestra has paid for it completely, and Warner is simply shoving it out there. So the orchestra is backing Aziz Shokhakimov. I don't know who else is backing Aziz Shokhakimov. And it's strange these days, because what this means is that the inmates are running the asylum. That is, the orchestras are deciding, and the conductors, whoever has money, let's put it this way, it's just money, right? Who has the money? Who has the backing to pay to produce this? And the costs of production are all met by somebody that is not Warner Classics, which means Warner Classics has no skin in the game. They have no interest in keeping the thing in print. They have no interest in marketing and selling. They have no interest. They're just doing what they're paid to do. And so the orchestra here, it's very nice. They want the public to know what they sound like and what they're doing, and maybe they think they have some hot shot conductor like Aziz Shokhakimov, who does amazing Tchaikovsky, and maybe they do, and maybe they don't. But it's not being decided by the people who are supposed to be making the decisions. That is the label. And I just want to throw that out there, because I'm amazed at the way the industry is developing these strange one-off releases from people you haven't heard of and places you don't expect. Now, we could always be very pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of this is very good. But still, what is this performance like? Let's talk about the performance now. Let's talk about music. Shokhakimov is trying to do a Mravinsky. That is the great Yevgeny Mravinsky, who was the leader of the Leningrad Philharmonic and raised that orchestra to unparalleled heights of precision, especially at high velocity. And this Tchaikovsky Fifth is a little bit like that. Shokhakimov is quicker in the first movement than Mravinsky was. The other two are okay, similar enough, but the finale is where the comparison really happens, because it's a real hell for leather performance of this finale. It's very, very quick and very ferocious, and it doesn't hold a candle to Mravinsky. You can compare them at roughly the same tempo, and you hear the difference, whereas Mravinsky has high speed and articulation and balances between strings and winds and all of those qualities. Here they're just approximate. One of the things I always listen for, particularly, is at the beginning of the finale. When the woodwinds have the tune, the theme, when it's da 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 ba da 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 ba 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 da 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 da, right? And then the woodwinds have to go da 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 ba da 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 da. Can you hear them? Well, with Mravinsky, you hear them very well, and everyone's going crazy, but you hear them very well. Here, they're buried. Nothing. Things like that. You get the sense from listening to the finale at this tempo that the orchestra is like hanging on for dear life. They really are. They're not a great orchestra. They're a decent orchestra. And to be pushed like that for the sake of generating a lot of heat and excitement, well, it's exciting. It is exciting. It's exciting hearing an orchestra, hanging on by the skin of their teeth, or whatever it is. But by the same token, it's even more exciting when they really do it. And the coda here is so rushed. It's so frantic. And the ending is disappointing. It's really pretty good up to that point. It really is. And the Romeo and Juliet is a decent performance of Romeo and Juliet, too. It's a little bit, it takes a little bit of time to get started, but that's as much Tchaikovsky's fault as Shokhakimov's fault. But the fact is, we have millions of performances of these things with, really better orchestras and conductors who certainly do just as well. I give the guy credit for not doing just another Tchaikovsky disc. I mean, it's really not bad. If I had been there on the night, it sounds, in fact, like it's a live recording in places. There's some sort of performance noise, but it doesn't say nothing. You have no indication other than that this is copyrighted by the Orchestre philharmonique de Strasbourg under exclusive license to Parlophone Records, which is Warner. So, it's really kind of fascinating to me. I don't know what more they're going to do. Maybe they're going to do a whole Tchaikovsky cycle with this guy. I'm curious to see if they maintain a standard. That would be interesting to know. But this is a good, not great Tchaikovsky disc issued by an orchestra as essentially a vanity production. But that's what the classical music is. Industry is these days. It's all vanity productions. Vanity, vanity, thy name is vanity. All is vanity. Or as, Paul Bunyan would say, all is vanity fair, vanity fair. It's vanity. At least the vanity has some substance to it. I don't think anyone needs this. I don't know if I'm going to hang on to it, but it's not dreadful. And that's damning with faint praise, I understand. But faint praise is about all the praise that I can muster at this point for, a performance of a repertory staple that is so easily surpassed by others that we've known for years and years and years. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.